Hello, all, and welcome back to day 2 in our epic saga 100 Days of Magic. Did that sound impressive? I am your host, Donna Woodwell. This, the Crossroads of Magic and Mastery, is my Facebook group for my magic school of magic and mastery, and I am so glad you are here to contribute your wisdom, sparks of your own journey into our collective cauldron in which we are all learning to contact the divine within us, the divine within all, together to make a more magical way forward for all of us. So, if you haven't met me before, I am Donna Woodwell. I have been practicing magic in its various forms for almost 30 years now, and I'm so happy to be able to share with you what I have learned along the way. For those of you who are attending live, please feel free to add your comments in our comments section. Hello, Pat. I'm so glad that you're here. I'm so glad that people can hear me. That's always good. I never know if the microphone is working. It's kind of over here. It's good to have you here. It's good to have you are contributing to this magical mix. Hello, Claudia. It's good to see you too. I think there's a little lag between the time you type and I actually see it. For those of you who are new to this group, and I know we have about 50 people since yesterday, I'm so glad you have been sharing this process with your friends. Bring them in so that we can all learn together. Oh, look, a whole bunch of people showing up. Excellent. So thank you for all of your contributions. As I said, groups do not work. Community doesn't work unless we are all here participating and sharing parts of our journey. I know some people are more extroverted, some people are more introverted, but all the energy we bring together is what holds the space for magic. And your contribution is important, regardless of whether you are a super introvert or super extrovert or anything in between. And I especially want to call out those creators who are doing the work in ways to support everyone. So that's the people who continue to post regularly in the Crossroads space. So like Kathy and Liz and Jen and Sharon and Nikki and everyone else who keeps practicing, keeps putting up their wisdom. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. You are holding space for everyone. So anybody listening to me now, make sure you maybe say hi, say thanks, maybe on the bottom of their post so that they know that people are listening and are getting something out of their wisdom too. Okay? Do that for me. Do that for all of us. All right, now that we're here, let's dive into day 2 of our 100 Days of Magic. So, if you tuned in yesterday, you know the rules. We're going to be meeting at this time in this space for 100 days in a row to create a habit of inviting magic into our lives. And as I mentioned yesterday in our discussion of what is magic, magic is just essentially building the habits in order to live a spiritually connected life where we are plugged into spirit and use that connection to consciously co-create the reality that we have around us. The more awake we are, the more we are able to make decisions so that we can manifest what actually moves us toward our soul purpose than leave us feeling floundering all the time. I'm not saying that life will be perfect. I'm not saying that it will not be without pain. What I am saying is that it will be filled with a sense of direction, a sense of meaning, and a sense of connection. All the things that help you feel like you are living a magically inspired life. It's that simple and yet that complicated at the same time. So today we're going to talk about the magical mindset because there's a few things that it helps you to consider before you embark on setting up a practice for yourself that enables you to draw more magic into your world. And so today that magical mindset we're going to talk about is how we can think of a model that enables us to understand how we make space for spirit. So consider for a moment the inside of your brain. You are looking around at the space all around you. You can see, in my case, you can see me talking to you. You can see whatever device you're looking at to see me talk to you. There's books behind me. There's probably maybe books in your own room, or maybe you're looking out the window, or whatever else is going on. All that image, all that stimulus, the stuff coming in your ears, that would be me talking. All of that is put together in a kind of movie show inside of your head. A three-dimensional all around you. So if you look in each direction, you get more stimulus. Picture. You don't directly perceive what's out there. You just perceive what's on that picture. But that stuff that's in your head, it's inspired by and shaped by and chosen by a lot of other things that are going on. It's shaped by the physical sensations of being in a body, whether you're hot or cold, whether you're wet or dry, whether you are hormonal or in the calmness of things, whether you're awake or sleeping. All of those physical sensations shape how you experience your reality, right? So that's one element of the picture. Another element of the picture is how you think about your reality, all those thoughts floating through your head. Is this a good thing? Is this a bad thing? All the talky commentary that's going on all the time about the continual stream of judgments you are making about what things mean, how they fit together, that direct your focus. And a third element that you feel all the time, whether you realize it or not, is your emotional soundtrack. Your emotions are, in essence, the interface of your talking mind and your physical body. Emotions have a physical component, and they have a direction created by your thoughts. So your thoughts might say, ooh, I like that. And your body responds with a rush of chemicals and hormones and things that give you a pleasurable feeling. And you have like and pleasure and lust and all those things that come with it. Or you think, ooh, I don't like that. So you might feel disgust or fear or hate or all those things that push stuff away or compel you into a different kind of action. So emotions are kind of the in-between place. And yet, your body, your senses, the stuff that's coming in from your eyeballs and your ears, your emotions and your thoughts are all coming together to create a kind of reality bubble, which is the three-dimensional picture that you see inside your head as you go through your life, right? And this reality bubble is being held up by your imagination. Your imagination is just the image maker. And when I say image, I don't just mean the image in the sense of visual stuff. I mean, image can, in this case, can also include what you hear, what you feel, and all that stuff around it. Your image maker is your imagination. And your imagination, that reality bubble, is the vehicle that allows you to make sense of the world. But here's the problem. Your reality bubble is just a piece looking at the world, when the whole world is so much bigger than whatever your reality bubble is. Even if your reality bubble is this big, the world is already so much bigger. There are trillions upon trillions of stars in our galaxy and trillions upon trillions of stars in the cosmos. How big do you think your perspective, no matter how enlightened you think you are, is compared to the totality of existence? I got news for you. It's very, very small. And the challenges that we face as we move through our world often reside from the fact that our ego selves, which are the custodians of our reality bubbles, often think that our reality bubble is the way it is. And we get into all kinds of problems because of that. We limit ourselves for what we can accomplish in the world, or we judge other people when their reality bubbles conflict with our own, not recognizing that the true challenge is that our reality bubble is too small. So the art of doing magic is the art of learning how that reality bubble gets created and finding ways to begin to enlarge like a snake shedding its skin. Enlarge and enlarge and enlarge your reality bubble so that it contains more of everything, more of who you are, more awake while you are inhabiting this physical space, and in larger circles that include the deeper levels of you, including reaching all the way up to that divine spark that informs who you are on the deepest levels. So those of you who are in my classes know I have this beat up board that I use for drawing pictures to try to explain what I'm talking about in classes. So just to give you a physical picture of what this looks like, I have body, I have emotions, and I have thoughts. And we just talked about that. So we can imagine our thoughts and body and emotions all feeding back on one another, okay? And in the midst of them all, and imagine this is super simplified, they are holding space for your imagination, that reality bubble, that place where you feel like reality is happening. So the secret, all magicians know, is that all of this is happening on the lowest level of our existence, our flatland, three-dimensional selves. When you begin to work on a spiritual dimension, you are circumventing this process just a little bit by getting above it, which is hard to describe on a three-dimensional plane because what we're really talking about is making it flat. All of this stuff is happening down here, and your spirit is happening up here. But we'll do our best. We will pretend that this triangle here, this trinity here, is infused by spirit. All right, so here's spirit up here, projecting all of this down here into our three-dimensional reality. So our challenge as magical creatures is to learn how this process works. This is the magical mindset. We learn how to use our equipment, our three-dimensional equipment, to begin to understand the whole by analogy. And we use this to find a way to connect up to spirit, and some people would call this the process of enlightenment. And we use this enlightened process to understand how to project our spirit back down into matter and create the kind of world that we want to live in, one that manifests our soul purpose in the world. Sometimes this side is also called theurgy, and this projecting down is called magic. Okay? So I hope you're all with me so far. If you have any questions, you can put them up in the chat window. I can see them while I am talking to all of you. All right, so I know this map might seem awfully complicated right now, but if you sit down and spend some time listening to that voice within you, you can see this happening. You can see this happening at every moment of every day, okay? So the purpose of the actions that we do in magic school, that we do in any spiritual practice, is to learn how to navigate this world with skill. And as this reality bubble gets bigger and bigger and bigger, eventually it can contain more and more of this spiritual perspective, which enables you to live a life that's filled with those synchronistic serendipity moments that make you feel like, wow, I can't believe this is happening to me. You can't make this shit up, as people say in astrological communities and other magical communities. The amazing things that happen that if you wrote them down in a script for a movie, it would sound like a bad melodrama, so cheesy because such things can't happen, and yet they do. So, for your homework today, because I like giving people homework, please try to spend a few minutes tapping in to that quiet space within you and noticing the sensations your body is giving you. Noticing the thoughts floating through your head. Noticing the emotions that you have. and how they're all making space for your own reality bubbles, and how your imagination is bubbling up and entering into that equation. And if you're really, really still, you might be able to sense a movement behind that. Maybe it's just the part of you that is observing all of this process. Who is doing the looking? Or maybe you feel something even deeper, that there's a presence beyond who you are that just adds a little bit of sparkle to everything. You catch a fleeting glimpse of that. So I hope you can do that between now and our next session, because in our next session, we're going to begin to dive into how magic, the traditional practice of Hermetic magic especially, talks about how you step into learning how to relate to this process. And we will get a little closer to unlocking the magic within all of us. All right? Before I go, any last minute questions that I can answer right here, right now, while I get a glass of water. Did that make sense to everyone? I give this lecture so many times in so many different formats. I'm never exactly sure who's heard me yammer on before and who hasn't. I also don't know how much of a delay there is between you typing and me actually seeing what you're typing. I think it might be up to a minute. Excellent. Okay. Yay! Yay. Comments are still coming in. So yes, yes, that is the big cosmic yes with a bunch of underlining that underscores the very nature of reality. There is a Sanskrit word, ananda, and it translates as, well, various joy, ecstasy, exuberance. But I like Madeline L'Engle's translation of the word the best, I think. Ananda is the joy without which the universe would cease to exist. So, between now and the next time we get to spend together, may your life be filled with Ananda. And until then, I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I will see you tomorrow.